Welcome everyone to another Fresh Crack Live. This is the opposite of Grease's show, which is his is Killing It with the Grease, and that's where he finishes off a bottle. This is where I open up a fresh bottle and I give you kind of my thoughts where I'm at. And I haven't done one of these for a few weeks. I did another Will's Week in Whiskey this week, but I'm going to get back into this as I get more new bottles, as I try stuff out maybe that I haven't had in a long time that's still sealed, so I can give that kind of first impression. But what we're going to get into, and if you're watching on YouTube, thank you. If you're not a subscriber to our YouTube channel yet, go ahead and click subscribe and ring the bell so that you'll get notifications when I go live in the future. So I am really excited to be here. I want to make sure everyone can hear me. If you want to put something in the chat, I'll try to get to that as much as I can as well. So what are we looking at today? We are looking at Stagg Jr. Now, this is one of the new releases that just came out, and this is 131.1 proof. So it just came out. It's been hitting stores pretty recently. And what I like about Stagg Jr. Relatively recently is that it seems like they've been putting quite a bit more Stagg Jr. out. And when they put more Stagg Jr. out, that means that there's more available. It used to be that I hardly ever saw Stagg Jr. offered in a store. Now, it's going to go quickly when they say that they've got it on their shelf, but it's something that I'm seeing stores, at least locally here in Tennessee, posting on their Instagram accounts, on their Facebook accounts, things of that nature, that, hey, we got a couple cases of Stagg Jr. in, come get it. Now, like I said, you got to be there. You got to get there quick. You got to make sure you follow those accounts to make sure that you can try to get some, but it's something we're seeing a lot more regularly. It's a great whiskey in general, so I'm excited to see more of it. And I'm excited to try this one tonight. So like I said, this is the 131.1 proof. They don't officially do batch names on it, but I do believe this is the 15th or so iteration or batch of Stagg Jr. So I'm going to get to it. I have a knife here that was gifted to me by my friends Jason and Natalie that I always use if I can't get the cap off just with my fingernails. But as you can see, it is a sealed bottle, so it will indeed be a fresh crack, so I can give you my initial thoughts on it. Now, I'm going to try to open it first with just my fingernails, but like I said, I've got that knife there just in case, and I don't have very good fingernails, so I got it. But always be prepared just in case you need the backup knife. So, it comes with these foil seals on top. It's a wider seal, but it's the Stagg logo, which is very similar to the George T. Stagg foil cap. It also has the double kind of copper band on the neck, which is similar, but it is wider, so it's not the exact same foil cap. Or maybe it is, and just it's heat shrinks closer to the neck and keeps wider. So here we go. 131.1 proof. For those of you doing the math, that is 65.55% alcohol by volume. Go ahead and if you have any questions or any comments, go ahead and put that in the chat below. I'm going to actually go to this other camera view so you can see kind of the color on it. And it is, it's got good color on it. It's nice and dark, even in the bottle, nice and dark. But there is one thing I did want to mention to everyone before I taste it, and that is that we have an email list that we've started. We're going to be, telling you things that we've done, pointing you in the direction of the YouTube videos we made or the podcasts we put out or the events coming up or things of that nature. And if you're not already, if you haven't signed up for something like Whiskey Weekend or something like a giveaway we've done or Southern Whiskey Society when we helped with some of that, I would go ahead to go to thepodcask.com, PODCASK, thepodcast.com, and scroll down to the bottom, and there's a place you can give us your email address. And the first newsletter is going to go out tomorrow. From time to time, I'm going to try to write like maybe a Will's Notes or Will's Thoughts, kind of a short form essay about whiskey or about the community or about the podcast in general. But our first one's going to go out tomorrow. So if you have signed up for anything in the past, go ahead and be looking for that in your email boxes tomorrow, I think is our first one. But if not, go ahead to thepodcast.com and sign up. And if you don't know if you've ever given us an email address, go ahead and sign up again, because it's not going to hurt. You're not going to get like double emails every day. So, and once again, it's not going to be something that we're putting out like 5 times a week. You're going to get one every day, 3 times a day. It's going to be once a week. It goes over all the stuff, all the links you can go to. If we have a new piece of merch out, you can go to it from there. Any announcements about things coming up, it'll be a good place to get it. Since we do have kind of different pockets of people, we've got our Facebook group over here with the podcasters. We've got people that are joining us on YouTube now. We've got people that are Instagram followers that may not be on Facebook or may not watch us on YouTube. Or if you're just a straight podcast listener, which you're probably not watching this video right now, you may not get an announcement if we don't put it in the right place at the right time for the algorithm to let you know. This is a place that's going to have all the information so you won't miss a thing, and we're looking forward to it. So I'm going to get back to this whiskey. I'm going to give it my my fresh crack thoughts. Right off the bat, 131 proof, and I haven't had anything to drink before this, which is actually a mistake. I typically want to drink something 90 proof, 100 proof. I mean, it can be a little bit higher with something this high of proof, and it's not going to mess up my palate, but I typically want to warm it up a little bit so it's not a shock as soon as I drink that first sip. But it is not, it's not something that's singeing my nasal sinus passages. It's has like a good oak wood aroma to it, but also some floral note to it. Some spice in there as well, like cookie spices, baking spices, those things. Now I'm getting a little bit of alcohol tickling the back of my throat because I'm just nosing it. Preston Adcock says, drinking some batch 11 myself, still on the lookout for this one. And then Andrew Nolan says, so excited to catch a live stream from my desk at work. Thanks for making the night go by quicker. And Owen Klein, our buddy, Owen from Hardee's, if you're a podcast listener, he says, always good to warm it up. I agree. I should have done that. I typically do, especially when it's 131 proof, but I didn't today. So everything with an asterisk, right? All right, let's see how we go. It's 131 proof, 131.1 to be precise. And I'm telling you, it drinks bold. It has a punch to it, but I would not say over 110 proof just on the palate. And it's not overpowering my ability, especially when I didn't have something to drink before, to get that flavor. It tastes like it's got really good age on it. You know, it's the little brother of George T. Stagg, which is, 15 years old. This is not age stated, unless I'm going to make sure it's not, but it's not age stated, but I believe they're in the 8 to 10 year range. So it's not like it's young whiskey by any means. But it's for sure a younger brother to the barrel strength George T. Stagg. When I first started getting into some cask strength whiskeys and Buffalo Trace products outside of just, Buffalo Trace, maybe E.H. Taylor, this was one I always was interested in and sought after. And I remember I got a bottle of it actually for roughly the retail price at a store in Nashville that now is known for not selling anything for retail prices. I'm not going to call them out directly, but it's a store that shockingly I was able to get it for, I think I paid $70 for it at the time, which I think is about retail price, maybe, give or take a few bucks. But it was something I was really excited about having, and I had it and I loved it. I think it's just so well developed. Buffalo Trace knows how to age their bourbon gracefully, and it doesn't come across rough or aggressive, even though this is 131 proof. This is probably this one and the last one that they put out that was a little bit earlier in the year. Probably two of my favorite batches I've had. We have a horizontal, I think is what you call it, of different batches of Buffalo Trace, like the first 10 maybe 2-ounce samples that our buddy Tim Gunderman gave us, and we need to get to one day, and maybe we can actually complete it and do like all 15 or something. That'd be pretty cool. The other thing about Stagg Jr., when it first, like I said earlier, that was always everything's priced more expensive in bars these days, especially Buffalo Trace products that are harder to find and even harder for restaurants to get. But it used to be you could get this in a bar for $12 to $15. And I remember a conversation I had with Paul Steele, and he was always saying that Maker's Mark was his like go-to bar pour just because it was cheap. Everyone had it, and it was going to be consistent. Mine would be, if they had it, Stagg Jr., because I knew it was going to be high proof. I knew I was going to really like it. I knew I was going to get my money's worth. And it was typically, at least in bars in Nashville at the time, was only $12 to $15. I would wager that it has gone up in bar pricing, but still something to look for. And a lot of times, because the MSRP and like what they're getting invoiced at the restaurant and bar, especially if they're not like a very heavy whiskey focused bar, it may be reasonable. So you should always take a look and not be afraid to maybe try it, especially if it's not something you see often. Now, like I said at the beginning of this, it is getting a little bit easier, I feel like, to get Stagg Jr. than it used to be. It used to be you never saw it. You never heard of stores getting even a case of it. It was very rare, just like the BTAC lineup, I feel like, at least in our area. All of this is the caveat of our area. But now I feel like we're seeing stores in our area that are posting about, hey, we got a case or two in, come get it. It goes quickly, but it's still there. It's not being jacked up to crazy prices and just sitting on the shelf. I like that. This is a line I know I want to continue to grow and to develop, and for them to put more out of it, because it's a good looking bottle. It's just so much bang for your buck because it's appropriately priced at around $70, and it's delicious. So it's hard to beat it. And this is one that, like I said, with it's not burning out my mouth. It's not burning out my palate. I'm able to drink this and enjoy it and nose it. And it's a lot of complexity in that high proof. And that's the thing. Some high proof whiskeys, once it gets to the 130s, like you got to be careful. You'll like be hurting, it'll burn your esophagus, but this doesn't. It just kind of, it lets you know it's there, but it's not punching you in the jaw, which is a good thing. That's, you want to be able to enjoy it. You want to be able to savor it. It's not something that I feel like if you're brand new to whiskey and haven't gotten into a lot of the high proof range, you should maybe just dive right into. But I think it's definitely worth seeking out and looking for. Always a buy on my list. I love Stagg Jr. Obviously a fanboy of the Buffalo Trace Distillery and everything they put out, but this is one of my favorites in their lineup because it is affordable, relatively. You're relatively able to get it, and hopefully they'll just keep producing more of it and putting it out there. But if you were to if you were to put this head to head with like the nearest competitor, like Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, I don't know, maybe Old Ezra 7-year barrel strength, like those kind of barrel strengths that are mid-price range and mid-age tier, even though Elijah Craig Barrel Proof is 12 years. I still feel like I'd take this. This one's the one for me that really just sits where you want it. It's really good. Thanks, everyone, for watching. That's all I'm going to get into tonight. Just a little bit of a fresh crack video since I hadn't done one in a couple weeks. I'm going to keep doing them. Grease is going to keep doing his Killing It with the Grease. If you have not watched that, it's fun. It's great. He basically is going through bottles that have, about much left in it and just killing it right there on video, talking about some memories in the bottle. It's kind of where this show is the first look, the first impression of a bottle. His is the final impression after he's got, some hours with that whiskey and some memories, hopefully, with that whiskey. And so you should check that out. We're also about to launch a show, and I'll tease it here, and I know that it's been teased to our virtual barn night crew, which is a Patreon level, or town hall crew as well, which you can check out. That's how you can support us and actually hang out with us on video. That's at patreon.com/thepodcast. But we've got another YouTube show we're going to do where it's going to be called Drinking With. And it basically is going to rotate out, and it's going to be more, it's not going to be like an interview show. It's going to be people that are more our friends or acquaintances in the whiskey community that we would want to drink with, but it's really hard to get together with people and drink right now. So we're going to do it online, get together. We may have a few questions for the people about, like, how'd you get into whiskey? What sustains you? What do you do? That type of stuff. But it's more going to be conversation, not interview, and just hang out. I really want, speaking of, if he's still watching, I really want Owen to come on it. And we do it virtually, so it's totally safe, and there's no agenda. There's no 15. It's just going to be hanging out live for a little bit, drinking with people. And we're going to start that hopefully next week. We've got some really cool folks that want to get involved and do it. So be looking for that. And the best way to be looking for that is to subscribe to this channel right here. Just go ahead. You know how to do it. Click the red subscribe button and then ring the bell, and it gives you notifications when we're live and when we put up new content. And so you won't miss it, because, there's a lot of noise and distraction out there. And we want to be the only thing you watch ever. That's our goal. Our goal is to literally be the only form of media you consume. We want to be your entire diet. We are going to be basically media keto for you. Like, this is the only thing you need. It sustains you. It keeps you going in the media sphere. So, so if you're all in, go ahead and subscribe right now. And finally, if you want to get on that email list where you'll get reminders of all the stuff we're putting out or any announcements or anything like that, go to thepodcast.com and put in your email address, and we'll send you that weekly newsletter. It'll keep you up to date on all the stuff we're doing if you happen to miss it. Because once again, we want to be the only thing you consume. This is it. This is the end of it. All right, folks, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I'm going to go ahead and sign off here, and I'll talk to y'all later. We'll see you next time on another Fresh Crack Live.